with Tashanda before her body would be discovered weeks later in a creek. Henry was questioned, but was never charged with her murder. Henry met Tashanda sometime around 1989-1990. She was a high school senior in Barnwell, South Carolina. She was pretty and bright-eyed. Mr. Wallace had a crush on her and wanted to date her. The two had a family connection. Their mothers worked at the same factory and were friends. About 2 years later, Henry decided to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, about 2 hours away from Barnwell, South Carolina, where he would start his life over. He decided to work at fast food restaurants and became a manager at a Taco Bell on the east side of Charlotte, North Carolina. He would meet friends through his job and his sister as she stayed in Charlotte before he moved there. Henry was very charming and seemed to have an aura about him that attracted women as friends and lovers. Most women thought they could trust him. Little did they know Henry had a bad side. In 1992, his victim in Charlotte, North Carolina, was a woman named in May. 1992, Wallace picked up 33-year-old Sharon Nance, a convicted drug dealer and prostitute. Wallace beat her to death when she asked for payment for her services, then dropped her body by railroad tracks. She was found a few days later. A month later, Henry was on a killing spree again. In June of 1992, Wallace raped and strangled Caroline Love, 20, at her apartment, then dumped her body in a wooded area. Love was a friend of Wallace's girlfriend. She was also his girlfriend's roommate and a college student. She had worked at a Bojangles at the time of the disappearance. After he killed her, Wallace, his girlfriend, and her sister filed a missing persons report at the police station. It would be almost 2 years in March of 1994 before her body was discovered in a wooded area in Charlotte. On February 19, 1993, Wallace strangled 20-year-old Shauna Hawk, a college student at her home. He staged Shauna crime scene as she would like she drowned in the bathtub after first raping her. He later went to her funeral. Hawk had worked at Taco Bell where Wallace was her supervisor. He went to the bank in Shauna car where police would get a picture of the killer, but it wasn't clear. Only thing that stuck out was his earring. On June 22, 1993, a few months later, after killing Shauna Hawk, Henry Wallace raped and strangled his Taco Bell co-worker and manager, Audrey Spain, 24. Her body was found on June 25. On August 10, 1993, Wallace raped and strangled Valencia M. Jumper, a 21-year-old college student from Columbia, South Carolina, his sister's friend. He then set her body on fire to cover up the crime. A few days after her murder, Wallace and his sister went to Valencia's funeral, even sending her family condolences. Murders kept coming back to back.